There seems to be a trend online where people talk about how they have no friends at various ages. And I thought I could contribute to the conversation, so here it is. I'm 40 and I have no friends. Technically, I do have friends, I just never see them. And that's kind of what's inspiring this video, because I know that my friends also feel like they don't really have any friends. And it's not so much that I feel like I don't have friends. It's that I recognize how isolated people are nowadays, especially after the last few years. So I'm going to talk about my experience. I don't think I really had many friends ever in my life. In fact, I know that I haven't had many real friends in my life, because many of the people that I thought were friends in my life were actually very toxic. And I was toxic as well, until I started to do my own healing. So there's that. I wasn't the best friend for them either. It was just a toxic soup of dysfunction for many years. But I did have a few friends, especially later on, that I do consider real friends. People that I would call if I needed help. People who I really do feel care about me and how I feel, and I care about them and how they feel and what they're going through and all that. I can count my friends probably on less than one hand. So, like I said, I technically do have friends. I just never see them, and they never see me, and they never see any of their friends either. So even though we have friends, we have each other, we're technically isolated. And then the question is, do you feel alone? And what can you do about it? Why have we gotten to this place in society where everybody's pervasively alone? First, just because you're alone doesn't make you lonely or unhappy or whatever. Personally, I've reached a point where I truly enjoy being alone. I don't feel lonely, but I do understand it, because for a long time I felt tragically alone. Not just alone, not just bored, but like in pain from feeling lonely. And back then I thought that the answer was to make more friends. And now I understand that that is not how you solve that issue. That you solve that issue by self-work. And the reason is because when you're in that state of desperation to fill that void, to not feel lonely, you're more inclined to fill it with whoever's around or whoever is willing to fill that void. And oftentimes it is people who are toxic, because you are so desperate in those states that you are ignoring all the red flags. So getting to a place where you're good on your own is a much better start to creating relationships with people who aren't toxic, who aren't predators. So I am 40, and my friends, who I almost never talk to, are all about my age. And the difference between us is that most, if not all of them, have kids and I don't. So I have a certain amount of freedom that they don't have. But they also have a certain amount of connection that I don't have. And even though they have that connection that I don't have, it seems to me that they feel lonelier than I do because of the things that I've faced and dealt with. Because like I said, I used to feel epically alone, like tragically alone, lonely. And now I don't. Now I am my own best company. And I have very little patience for the wrong kind of other people. So I would much rather be alone than with other people if they're the wrong kind of people. Ideally, I would find the right kind of people and spend time with them. And herein lies the issue, right? So let's say you do the inner work and you stop feeling that desperation to fill that void with other people. And you start feeling good on your own and like your own best company. Then what do? How can I have people in my life who are the right people and they also feel alone, but we can never connect? Because, in my opinion, what I see is that it's because we live in a world where we are super taxed on our energy and our time. We are in a world where you have to work like 4 jobs just to get by, where the economy is consistently getting worse and the future is not guaranteed, and most people my age and younger are going to have, or who have been having, a lot of trouble buying a house, and have been just getting suffocated by their growing cost of living and their debt. So as for myself and my friends, we spend most of our time and energy just trying to get by, just trying to deal with life, just trying to figure out what we're going to do, and putting our energy into making money and paying the bills and getting stuff done. And they have their kids to take care of and all of that. There was a time decades ago where our parents and our grandparents had more time and energy because of the economy, the state of the economy, that they had more time and energy to put into relationships instead of just trying to keep your head above water. So our generation is struggling in that way. And then there's also everything going on in society in general, the division. People are very attached to their political beliefs, and when other people disagree with them or whatever, it triggers them, us, whatever, and we reject that person. So we try, this is in general, obviously I'm not talking about everyone. Some people are much more tolerant than others for different viewpoints, but in general, we tend to look for people who have similar values and beliefs and views on life and politics and whatever. And for the most part, I think that's very healthy. And I think that the basis of a good, healthy relationship stems from having beliefs and values in alignment. But we've gotten to a point where it's hard to find common ground with a lot of people. Either that, or you find common ground with a group of people following a very rigid ideology, a rigid set of beliefs, otherwise known as a cult. So it's very difficult to navigate society right now without either being sucked into a rigid belief system, or you're going to be alone for the most part. I don't know what kind of answer people were going to expect from this video, because I haven't really watched many of the other videos saying that I have no friends, but of the ones that I've seen, I think a lot of people are talking about their experience without a lot of understanding on why it's happening to them. And they might blame their relationship or their friends or their social anxiety, which could all be factors, but there's something much bigger going on in society that is keeping us apart from each other. And I truly believe that it's temporary, that it's a phase, and that we're going to get to the other side of this, and that it's necessary to find ourselves and to find the truth, and that things are going to be a lot better on the other side of it. It's a very uncomfortable transition in the meantime. Again, this is all my opinion, and you can state your own down below. To summarize, I guess, I'm 40, and I technically have no friends, I literally have a few friends that I never see, like never see. I only have a couple, maybe one, that I really talk to on a regular basis. And most of my friends I very rarely speak to even. And they're struggling as well with their own loneliness. But the world is keeping us apart. And making new friends can be very difficult in a time like this because you're trying to find other people that see the world through the same lens as you do. And you'll either find few people like that or you'll end up in some sort of a cult, in my opinion. Once you start to see through the lies in society, once you start to become aware of the truth, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. And so you're not going to find enough in common with people who don't see what you see. It's going to be very frustrating to have in-depth conversations with them. I think what's going to make this shift where we can finally come together again is this shift that's happening where people are becoming more self-sufficient and going off-grid kind of thing. Not saying that you have to go off-grid. I'm just saying that there seems to be a much more community-oriented mind state coming into fruition in society among people who are aware of what's going on. And those are the kind of people that I want to connect with anyways. So I feel like as we move into that, we're going to be coming closer together, even just for survival reasons, but that we're going to be forming communities of like-minded people. And so I do see that we're moving towards that. And I'm personally, for the most part, probably moving towards that with all my goals in life and all that. In the meantime, doing this self-work, the making sure that you're an emotionally healthy person, a psychologically healthy person, to the best of your abilities, to be able to have quality connections with other people, to be able to form relationships where you have solid boundaries and you're able to respect other people's boundaries without being personally offended, and you're able to be there for them and give them energy when it makes sense without overgiving and sacrificing your own well-being. And all these things that are necessary elements to having healthy relationships, if we can do that self-work in the meantime as we're going through this transition in society, which is unfortunately pretty much inescapable, then everything's going to be fine. And I know that people don't want to hear that. I think people want to hear, is there an app that I can use or whatever? And no, there's hella no app that you can use. In fact, apps have been a big part of why we have so much division. Apps, like dating apps, have destroyed dating. I'm not going to get into that in this video. But no, there's no app for quality relationships. But I do believe that in doing the self-work to become emotionally healthy and ready for quality relationships and connections of all kinds, and then as we move into the future where we are more connected, where we are forming communities despite what certain powers that be want to happen, we get to create our future. And we can't forget that they might dictate what they think the world is going to look like, but that doesn't mean that's how it's going to go. We create reality. We collectively create reality. We create our personal reality. So if we say no, it's no. And that, I believe, is what's happening right now, and it's a beautiful thing. If we just focus on what we want to create, that's what we're going to create. I don't know if people wanted to see me cry about how lonely I am, but I'm not. I have no friends and I'm not lonely, and I'm happy. Why? Because there's no toxic people in my life trying to destroy me and manipulating me into low self-esteem. No one is gaslighting me. I feel good. And you can too. You can feel good with no friends or few friends in your life. You can feel good being alone. And you also have the potential to make friends, make more friends. Quality friends that don't hurt you. Let's explore some rocks. Don't need friends to go get in trouble. Oh, look at the birdie. What's it doing? What are you doing, little birdie? Let's see what happens. Are you okay, birdie? Birdie's gonna fly away for sure. For sure. Just walking through. Oh, took off. What do we got here? I'm gonna go see what's up here. I was thinking of climbing this, but it's very steep, like much more steep than I thought. And the ground is very slippy because of the frost. So this is probably a really bad idea. I think I'm gonna come back and do this another time. See, it's a little frosty, slippy. Yeah, there's no way. I'm not doing this now. I will fall on my face, especially with the gimbal. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know, man. Oh, no, I don't know. You know, I'm wearing Crocs, by the way. Maybe I should change my shoes. Fuck it. Okay, we're doing it. Okay, we're doing it. What is this? Look at that view! Just kidding. Oh boy, no, we're not prepared for this. We'll be back. We'll be back. Oh, I didn't think of this. That looks way steeper on the way down. I don't know how I'm gonna get down without getting super dirty. Okay. And all the bushes that I would grab onto are rose bushes. They're all prickly. I don't know about this. I don't know. That looks way more slippy. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. This was a stupid idea. I dropped you. I dropped you on the floor. We did it. Oh my God. I managed to sting myself with the thorns and drop my phone and the gimbal down the hill. But we got down. I just had to like crawl down, not on my knees, definitely on my hands, but we got it. We're down, we're free.